Last time I saw you was at XRP Las Vegas.
Oh man, House of Blues on stage jamming.
That's right. You were playing the guitar with Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman, and Brad Kimes, founder of the DPMG Group and Digital Perspectives. What was that experience like? Ladies and gentlemen, to my right is Coach Ron Nash, CEO and founder of Get Hired Now Career Academy. Ron, it's a pleasure to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Pleasure to hang out with you as well.
Oh, man. We had a great time. Last time I saw you was at XRP Las Vegas.
Oh, man. House of Blues on stage jamming.
That's right. You were playing the guitar with Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman, and Brad Kimes, founder of the DPMG Group and Digital Perspectives. What was that experience like?
You know what? Hanging out with Brad, first of all, is a blessing because he's a very giving person. What you see is what you get. And then Chris in the green room, man, I got to know who the guy really was. What an amazing musician, amazing being. Really loved hanging out with him.
You know what? I've had the privilege and honor of interviewing Chris a couple times, once at Consensus and another time at XRP Las Vegas. And the gentleman is patient. He's kind. He's got a lovely wife. So, Chris, thank you very much for sharing your time with me, sir. It was a moment that I'll always cherish. But Ron, let's talk about you, sir. You're flown around the country by LinkedIn. You're a decorated headhunter, executive coach. What inspires you to help tech professionals to elevate their career to the next path? And how are you doing it with the empowerment of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so I started about 30 years ago, headhunter, recruiter, HR partner, and I got really good at the process of figuring out how to get people expeditiously from where they were to where they were going, interview prep, all the above. And so one thing led to another. Fast forward, here I am now, 30 years later. Technology, always been a sci-fi buff, totally into that kind of stuff. And I started working with AI around 2017, built my first platform leveraging code. Fast forward now, there's a lot of things, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. And I've been able to build a platform that allows me to take this knowledge base, which is pretty vast, embed it into AI and build circumstances where I can bring my costs down and still help people in a very meaningful way. And I think that's one of the things I'm excited about. The tech platform, lower cost, but still able to give value to individuals.
With your 30 years of experience helping professionals navigate their career paths, what are some of the things that you've noticed or changes that you've noticed in this new paradigm of finding jobs or even the hiring practices?
I think the biggest distinction I will make is that we've gone from the 20th century to the 21st century. And what that means is that we've gone from analog to digital. Used to be where you'd apply, sending a resume over via mail, fax, etc. 21st century kicked in, online, Monster, LinkedIn, etc. But it's gotten a lot more complicated now because there's keywords, key phrases, all this other stuff. Plus, you have to be branded online, right? Somebody comes to your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter profile, etc. And if you're branded, they'll see who you are. There's social proof. If you don't have social proof, recruiters now are looking for social proof. So all of this other stuff we need to be has to happen now. And so my program helps people to brand themselves, articulate their value, figure out who they are in advance. And we actually do it with you. I'd like to say doing it for you, but we do it for you, but you also have to make sure you're participating in the process.
You know what, Ron, I'm impressed by your systems that you've developed. You were talking before we hopped on camera here earlier when we grabbed a coffee downstairs about the four squares of a career square. Do you mind sharing some of those elements?
Absolutely. So the career square it's a premise. I came up with it a number of years ago. It used to be a triangle, and then my wife was questioning me, and we turned it into a square. A square has four equal sides, and if you use it as a frame, I truly believe in starting off with your true north. You go on sailing on a long distance, where are you going and why? Career square, four sides. Side number one, people and culture. Why don't you sail toward a place that has a great culture, great people? Spend more time at work than at home. Side number two is compensation. We all have our own value, right? What's that worth? Side number three, growth and opportunity. Oftentimes, we want to grow in our career. If we've been somewhere for a certain amount of time, we want to grow, either internally or externally. Side number four, work-life balance. Obviously, if I simplify it and I say, okay, you love the people, not compensate it well enough, you're out of balance. Or love the people, compensate it well, been doing this for a while, not growing, brain's atrophying, you're out of balance. Or love the people, compensated well, growing a lot, but I can't spend time with the people I love. You're out of balance. And so that's a simple frame. If you can start off with a where am I going with a simple frame, you can actually get more of the things that turn life into more purpose and passion driven.
You know, on the topic of passion, Ron, because it's apparent you're very passionate about what you're doing, sir, and I love to see it. What inspired you to help bridge the gap between people that might be transitioning career paths or trying to elevate their career to the next level? What inspires you to bridge the gap between that top talent and landing a job quickly, and also landing a job that compensates them well, or to the compensation they deserve?
Yeah. That's a great question. And so I will say, I believe there's three frames: job, career, and purpose. I've had the pleasure of falling backwards into my purpose. And it had its challenges. I mean, in fact, 2008, I don't say this proudly, but it's a true story. I actually went through a foreclosure, right? Few $1,000,000 in the pocket, that went away. Housing market flattened. I couldn't make a living. Recruiting business flatlined. Couldn't make a living for a couple of years. Savings went away. Couldn't pay for the house. But fortunately, I come from a background where there's some spirituality. I kept the family, let go of the stuff. You can always get stuff, kept the family. So fast forward, here I am, got more stuff, but I still have a family now. That process was so stressful, but I had to figure out, how do I teach people this stuff that I know, right? Tony Robbins, personal development, law of manifestation, all that stuff is good as a soundbite. But when you have to practice it and turn it into actual actions, that's what I had to do. One of my first clients during that was a guy named Cesar Milan, the dog whisperer. And that turned into now a 15-year-long relationship. So I was able to take my circumstance and the stress, turn it into a set of actions that I live by, and turn it into a program that I teach in my career academy, which is part of my career accelerator program.
Do you mind sharing, before I let you go? I know you're a busy man. Can you share a couple elements of your proven roadmap that would benefit the audience?
Absolutely, without a doubt. So, because I've done this for so long, I've seen why people spend time doing the wrong activity, applying online, getting ghosted, etc., not working their network properly. But there's a very specific set of circumstances. Number one, understanding where your true north is. What's your why? Almost Simon Sinek, start with why. Really powerful TED video if you haven't seen it. What's your why? If you have a motivation other than getting a job, what's your why? Who are you and where are you going? Number two, what's your superpower? It's more than an elevator pitch, but how do you articulate your value, right? And so I have a very specific process around that. Number three, how do you brand yourself? Today's day and age, your online presence, you get 6 seconds with a recruiter to peruse your online presence. They look at your LinkedIn profile, resume, 6 seconds. You got to draw them in. Most people don't know the strategies for doing that. That's part of what we do here. And then the rest of it is really networking, interview preparation. A lot of leaders have a specific format: situation, task, action, result. That's called behavioral. When you get in front of a potential employer, as an example, Apple, Google, some of the bigger companies, what they don't tell you is that in that first round of interviews, if you don't do well in the interview process, they put you on ice for 6 months to 2 years. Now, if you make it through, they pay you lots of money. Most people imagine they want jobs there. So we help people be prepared, whether it's for those kinds of companies or whether it's any other type of organization. Being prepared. And then finally, how do you get what you're worth? I believe in stretching the rubber band without breaking it. And what that simply means is that if a company believes in your value, if they actually believe they want to make you an offer, you have a 1 year, whatever you accept for that 1 year is going to be what you get. So you may as well stretch it within reason. There is a methodology for doing that. That's all built into my program. It's built into our partnership and also community.
Now, Ron, congratulations on the platform you've built and your proud global community. How would somebody who's aspiring to change their careers or elevate themselves, how would they engage in your program?
Very simply, GetHiredNowPrograms.com. Just go to our website. That'll give you the information necessary. One of the things I'm excited about right now is our newest program, our Career Accelerator program. And what that simply is I've been working with a lot of high-level executives and big companies, big brands, and they do pay, a premium price in order to have access. The challenge I've been trying to solve, and the question I've had for a while and now have solved it, is how do I bring my pricing down so it's affordable, but the experience is still the same level of experience? Part answer one is the same methodology inside of my Career Accelerator program. The second part is I've literally taken the time to train AI as a coach. From the stuff in my brain, the books that I've written, the experiences I've had, I've trained AI to help partner with individuals. And so instead of just getting a general AI answer, you're really getting Coach Ron Nash AI. And I am super, super excited about that.
Ron, I'm impressed with everything you've got going on for you. You're not only a seasoned vet, but you're a gentleman that's climbed up and down the mountain. So for those in the audience, if you're interested in engaging with Ron, Ron Nash's coaching program, I will be sure to put his contact information and the links to his website and his program in the description of this video. But thanks for tuning in. Ron, it's been a privilege, sir. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so very much, man. I appreciate your time.